A 9-year-old Springfield student brought education outside of the classroom with a block party. And Bruno Mars is in Springfield this weekend. 22 News is working for you with what fans had to say before last night's concert.
Beautiful morning, lots of sunshine. It's going to be a warm one with temperatures getting up into the 80s. We'll show you how long the nice weather will be sticking around in the 22 News Storm Team forecast.
Live from the 22 News Broadcast Center, this is 22 News at 7 a.m.
Good morning, it's Sunday. Thank you for joining us for 22 News at 7. I'm Melissa Torres. We had a really beautiful day yesterday and the fun in the sun doesn't stop today. 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Adam Stremko joins us live here in the studio with the latest weather forecast. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Melissa. That's right, a beautiful start to the weekend yesterday, and today is even looking nicer. It'll be a little bit warmer. Live look from our Westfield camera. Sunshine, see a little bit of that haze, so we'll see a little bit more haze out there today, but it's mostly going to be in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So it really shouldn't affect the air quality today very much, maybe a little bit later on this afternoon. But with the sunshine, that's going to warm us up as we head into this afternoon. ESP live Doppler radar, nothing out there. We're staying dry. And as we widen the view, clouds and radar, see a few clouds off to our west. So clouds will build up a bit this afternoon. Just a very slight chance for a shower. Can't rule it out. But again, I think most of us stay dry out there today. Temperatures are in the 50s, 53 right now in Westfield, Springfield at 53, 51 in Northampton, 49 in Orange and in the Berkshires. We're in the 50s, 51 in Pittsfield, 50 right now over in North Adams. So here's a look at the daycast as we head towards 10 a.m. Mostly sunny skies, temperature 70 degrees, and there it is, warming up to right around 80 degrees at 1 o'clock, sunshine and clouds, and 4 o'clock, partly sunny, temperatures in the lower 80s. We are going to be tracking the return of showers as we head into next week. We'll show it to you in just a few minutes with the 22 News Storm Team forecast.
A Boston police officer was shot and injured Friday night. The shooting happened just after 9 p.m. in the Roxbury neighborhood. Officials say the officer was responding to an armed robbery when he was reportedly shot several times. The Boston Police Department says the officer is in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. 2 other officers were also injured, but not from gunfire. The suspect is in custody at this time. The Western Massachusetts Ironman 70.3 kicked off at 6 this morning. 22 News reporter Heath Kalp is live at the starting line. Heath, what's it like down there this morning?
Melissa, over 1,200 competitors jumped into the Connecticut River right behind me here just about an hour ago. And somehow most of these superhuman athletes disguised as Ironmen are already complete with the over mile-long swimming portion. The race began with a 1.2-mile swim course from the North End Bridge to Memorial Ave. Then comes the cycling portion of the competition, a 56-mile loop west towards the Berkshires and back to West Springfield. The last portion of the race is a 2-loop, 13.1-mile run course along the Connecticut Riverwalk that finishes in downtown Springfield. Now, I spoke to one father of a first-time Ironman today, and he told me his son has been working towards this for years. But just like me, he's baffled at this physical feat that these 1,200 competitors are doing. Working for you live in Springfield, I'm Heath Kalb, 22 News.
Well, thank you very much, Heath. A block party is designed to inspire and educate kids about the wonders of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics took place in Springfield Saturday afternoon. A 9-year-old Carmelo Stewart, also known as the Extreme Science Kid, sponsored a Schools Out block party. The day was filled with interactive activities, hands-on experiments, and engaging demonstrations. The block party included face paint, outdoor games, and a musical performance. 22 News spoke with Stewart about why encouraging other kids to be interested in STEM is so important.
Because that's what helps us. Because math, we couldn't really do much. We couldn't build. We couldn't pretty much do anything without math. Technology, we wouldn't have the things that we have today. Science helps us discover new things.
Stewart one day wants to become an astronaut. Community members gathered for a block party in Springfield yesterday in honor of National Home Ownership Month. Springfield Neighborhood Housing Services hosted its third annual Community Home Ownership Block Party, featuring family activities, games, and community awards. 22 News stopped by as the setup was underway and spoke with organizers about the importance of the event, which highlights home ownership as the building block of a community.
It brings us all together with one single purpose, with the opportunity to define what we want in our community.
But homeownership is, important to most families because it's their first pathway to some type of wealth.
Various agencies that assist in the journey to homeownership were at the event, offering support for things like down payment assistance and first-time home buyer trainings. Those in attendance getting to have some fun while connecting with services they may need. East Hampton City Arts presented Cultural Chaos yesterday, highlighting the spirit of the East Hampton community. It's an annual block party, another one, dedicated to celebrating 10 years of culture on Cottage Street. It showcases the local artists, performers, and businesses that make up the East Hampton community. People sharing with 22 News what makes this event so special.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for the community to come together, all the vendors, and you can really see the life out here. It's really spectacular.
The event takes place on the second Saturday of June every year. 14-time Grammy Award winner Bruno Mars is playing at the Mass Mutual Center this weekend. Fans flock to the center to see Mars, who has sold more than 200 million singles worldwide, making him one of the best-selling artists of all time. His 64th annual Grammy win for the Record of the Year made him only the second artist in Grammy history to win the category 3 times. Fans outside the venue were excited to see Mars and his outstanding talent last night.
Saw him in Connecticut some years ago, and he is electric. He is all kinds of energy. So you can't miss going to a Bruno Mars concert. Yeah.
He is awesome. We went to his concert out in Boston, and it was awesome. Dancing, singing, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he certainly is a triple threat, and if you're interested in jamming out with Bruno, the last we checked, there were less than 10 tickets still available for tonight's 8 p.m. show, so don't miss out. Some health experts are changing the way we view isolation periods for people who have tested positive for COVID-19. The Oregon Health Authority suggested that people with COVID stay home until they've gone 24 hours without spiking. Recommendations are a bit of a break from CDC guidance, which continues to suggest people stay home for a 5-day period after testing positive. Oregon health officials say that while COVID hasn't gone away, they believe that symptom-based isolation is appropriate for the state. An independent advisory committee for the FDA voted Thursday to recommend an injectable drug that could protect infants of up to 2 years old from RSV. The panel voted unanimously to recommend the shot for newborns and infants during the first months of exposure to RSV. The FDA must now decide whether to approve the injection. It is likely to follow the committee's recommendation.
Here's a look at the temperature track over the next 3 days. Average high temperature is 77 degrees. Above average today, up to 84. Right where we should be tomorrow, 77 and 80 on Tuesday. So some warmer temperatures on the way as we head through the start of the work week. We'll show it to you next with a 22 News Storm Team forecast at 7:08. It's 53 degrees outside.
And now, the 22 News Storm Team forecast with meteorologist Adam Stremko.
Good Sunday morning, everybody. Beautiful morning out there. Live look from our Chicopee camera. Lots of sunshine, a little bit of haze out there. Still seeing some of the effects of those wildfires out in Canada, so a little bit of smoke in the air, but most of this will be in the upper levels of the atmosphere. We did have a little bit of patchy fog in spots, but that fog continues to burn away. Let's take a look right now and show you the weather story for today. Sunshine and clouds. It's going to be a warm day today with temperatures getting up low to mid 80s as we head into this afternoon. Just a very slight chance for a shower, but I think again most of us will be staying dry. Tonight mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be in the 50s, and our shower chances return next week, or this week I should say, and especially as we head towards the early part of the week and towards the middle of the week, we could be dealing with some rain and some substantial rain, especially Monday night into Tuesday. Temperatures out there right now are in the 40s and 50s. We're at 54 in Montgomery, 53 in Chicopee, 51 in Hadley, 49 in Shutesbury, 50 right now over in Lee. So again, a pretty comfortable morning out there, but those temperatures will be warming up. Clouds and radar, and you can see we have a good deal of sunshine. There are some clouds to our west, and eventually some of these clouds are going to kind of build in a little bit this afternoon. And you can see the wet weather a little bit farther off to the west. That's what we're going to have to deal with as we head into the second half of tomorrow and going into Tuesday. So we'll show that to you hour by hour with an updated sky cast. So here we are, 9 a.m., lots of sunshine. We'll see those clouds build up a bit, and you see a little bit of green. So we can't rule out a shower, but again, most of us will stay dry through this afternoon, warming up into the low to mid 80s. And then tonight, 11 o'clock, clouds are moving in. So becoming mostly cloudy tonight. We stay dry. We may see a little bit of sunshine breaking through the clouds tomorrow morning, but the clouds will be thickening up. And then as we head into the afternoon, we're starting to see those showers. These showers will become more widespread as we head into Monday night and Tuesday. There we are, Tuesday morning, tracking some showers. And then scattered showers as we head through Tuesday, and also more showers on the way for Wednesday. So your smoke forecast for today, again, we are dealing with some of that smoke out there right now, and that'll pass on through, and then things will start to get a little bit better later on tonight. There we are at 10 o'clock. It's getting a little bit lighter, and then it really starts to improve as we head through the day on Monday. You can see back to blue, so low levels of smoke Monday afternoon. It pretty much clears right out as we head into Monday night and Tuesday. So county cast looks like this for today. Hamden County will look for a mixture of sunshine and clouds. It's going to be warm. 85 Springfield, 84 Westfield, 80 Blandford, right around 83 in Palmer. Hampshire County, sunshine and clouds in the 80s, 84 Northampton, 83 in Belchertown. Franklin County, sunshine and clouds in the 80s, 82 in Orange, 83 in Greenfield. And in the Berkshires, sunshine and clouds, 80 in Pittsfield, 82 in Lee, 83 in Great Barrington. Tonight, skies will be mostly cloudy. Overnight lows 58 to 62. 22 News Storm Team 7-day forecast. And there it is for Monday. Showers developing in the afternoon. Could be some heavier rain coming in Monday night into Tuesday. And then a few scattered showers on Tuesday, 80 degrees. Chance for showers on Wednesday, 77 degrees. And continuing the chance for a few scattered showers both Thursday and Friday. Temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. Looks dry right now as we head into next weekend. Saturday, partly sunny in the mid 70s. That 7-day forecast always online at wwlp.com. And of course, you can track the return of those showers as we head into the start of the work week on your mobile device. Download the free 22 News app.
The time now is about 7:15. It's 54 degrees outside, and 22 News is working for you with your winning lottery numbers.
You're watching 22 News at 7 a.m.
While lawsuits, charges, and legal woes swarm former President Donald Trump, some may be wondering how the newest allegations of classified document mishandling will play out. NBC's Ken Delanian has more.
Legal experts are weighing in on what some are calling a devastating criminal case against the nation's 45th president. Even lawyers who once supported former President Trump say the evidence is overwhelming.
The evidence in this indictment is very damning for the former president.
Republican Jay Town was appointed in 2017 by Mr. Trump to be Alabama's top federal prosecutor.
If the president was directing people to lie, directing people or himself moving information around that is the object of the grand jury subpoena and DOJ's investigation, well, that's obstruction of justice. That is a conspiracy to commit false statements, and that's against the law.
Law professor Ryan Goodman, a Trump critic, has studied Espionage Act cases.
This is one of the most incredibly strong indictments that I've seen compared to all other indictments under the Espionage Act for retention of military secrets in, let's say, the past 20 plus years.
Experts say the most compelling evidence may be two recordings. One by a lawyer hired to help Mr. Trump comply with a Justice Department subpoena. Quoting Mr. Trump as telling the lawyer, "Wouldn't it be better if we tell them we just don't have anything here?" And a second featuring Mr. Trump himself, acknowledging he possesses secret information about U.S. military plans.
How powerful is a tape recording of Donald Trump saying in his own words that he has a classified document?
It's extraordinary. It will be so compelling to jurors.
Town believes the Justice Department should not have charged Trump with retaining classified documents because he says it raises an uncomfortable comparison to President Biden, who is under investigation over secret material found in his home and office. Multiple sources tell NBC News that investigation is nowhere near a completion, but he says even if convicted,
these obstruction counts, which again are very compelling in the indictment, and if true, the president is going to have a hard time getting around those 6 counts.
Though prison time is unlikely, he says.
I don't think that President Trump will serve a day in prison. He is entitled to Secret Service protection for the rest of his life. The Secret Service cannot delegate that to the Bureau of Prisons.
That was Ken Delanian reporting. Former President Donald Trump and the former Vice President Mike Pence spoke at the state Republican convention yesterday in North Carolina. Both talked about the federal indictment against Trump. Trump accused President Joe Biden of trying to jail his leading political opponent. Pence said he had hoped the Justice Department could have resolved the issue without filing charges against Trump. Pence also called on the Attorney General to explain to the American people why the indictment was necessary. Republican delegates in North Carolina have voted to censor the state's senior U.S. senator for backing LGBTQ+ rights, immigration, and gun violence policies. Senator Tom Tillis has gained influence in Congress for his willingness to work across the aisle. Several delegates criticized Tillis for his work last year on the Respect for Marriage Act that enshrined protections for same-sex and interracial marriages in federal law. The censure will not remove him from the office, and several state legislators have criticized the move, saying it creates a dangerous precedent. Whether a constitutional right to a healthy, livable climate is protected by state law at the center of a lawsuit going to trial Monday in Montana. 16 young plaintiffs and their attorneys hope to set an important legal precedent. Although experts say it's unlikely to change policies in fossil fuel-friendly Montana, it's the first trial of its kind in the United States, and legal scholars around the world are following its potential addition to protect citizens from climate change. The Federal Railroad Administration recently completed a review of the Norfolk Southern's safety culture in the wake of February's fiery derailment in Ohio, an incident that prompted a massive evacuation of residents in the area. The report has not yet been released, but other companies will also be reviewed. The head of the FRA has said that in addition to these individual reports, the agency will produce an industry-wide report on common issues and trends. Ted Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber, was found dead in prison in his prison cell yesterday. NBC's Dana Griffin reports.
The man known as the Unabomber died while serving 4 consecutive life sentences, decades after his reign of terror gripped the nation. Ted Kaczynski, the one-time mathematics prodigy, became infamous for eluding authorities. The only clue to his identity? This sketch made after a witness saw him planting a bomb. Kaczynski played a deadly cat-and-mouse game with the FBI in a nationwide bombing campaign that stretched 17 years, becoming one of the Bureau's longest and most expensive investigations ever.
The FBI, the other agencies involved, are working on this with as much diligence as I've ever seen in an investigation.
His first homemade bomb detonated in 1978 at Northwestern University, injuring a security guard. The FBI would dub him a twisted genius for mailing or hand-delivering 15 more bombs over the years. His devices killed 3 and injured nearly 24 more, all while puzzling investigators for leaving behind no traceable evidence. In 1995, the Unabomber Task Force asked newspapers to publish a manifesto Kaczynski mailed them, hoping it would generate new leads. It did, when David Kaczynski recognized the thinking of his brother and reported him to the FBI.
It wouldn't have been right to allow him to hurt anyone else. He had to be stopped in some way, and that was the only way I could think to stop him.
On April 3rd, 1996, investigators arrested Kaczynski at his tiny cabin near Lincoln, Montana. There, they found journals detailing his crimes, just $32.80 to his name, and something else.
Federal agents have turned up a live bomb at the home of the man the government believes is the Unabomber.
Kaczynski's campaign of fear finally over. Ultimately, in 1998, he said he was, pleading guilty and spending the rest of his life in prison.
That was Dana Griffin reporting.
It's 7:27 time for Traffic Watch. Live look Interstate 91 downtown Springfield. Not too many cars on the road. North and southbound traffic moving smoothly out there. We have a lot of events that are taking place. Of course, the Ironman, the weather is cooperating for that. And we have the Turkish Food and Cultural Festival that continues today in Agawam at the School Street Park. The weather's going to cooperate. Noontime, partly sunny, 78 degrees, partly sunny at 5 o'clock. Temperatures getting up into the lower 80s. We are tracking the return of showers as we head through this week. We'll show it to you in just a few minutes in the 22 News Storm Team forecast.
Live from the 22 News Broadcast Center, this is 22 News at 7:30 a.m.
22 News is diving into the Western Massachusetts Ironman today with a live look from the Connecticut River. And the city of Chicopee celebrated their annual Pride Fest yesterday. We'll show you all the festivities that took place.
A beautiful morning, a live look from our Chicopee camera. Lots of sunshine, a little bit of haze out there, but temperatures are going to be warming up. Dry today, but we are tracking the return of showers as we head in through the work week. We'll show it to you in the 22 News Storm Team forecast.
Good morning, it's Sunday, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 7:30. I'm Melissa Torres. Well, we had a really beautiful day yesterday. The fun in the sun doesn't stop today. 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Adam Stranko joins us live here in the studio with the latest weather forecast. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Melissa. Yeah, yesterday was gorgeous. We saw a good deal of sunshine. There were a few scattered showers around yesterday. We were in the 70s. Today, looks like we should stay dry for the most part, and it will be warmer. Here's a look from our Greenfield camera. You can see lots of sunshine out there. We did have a little bit of fog up in Greenfield the last hour or so, but that has lifted, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine out there this morning. Clouds will tend to build up a bit as we head into this afternoon, though. ESP live Doppler radar as the beam sweeps on by. Nothing out there. We're staying dry. Clouds and radar. You can see there are some clouds off to our west, so we'll see a few of these clouds kind of work on through as we head through the day today. Mainly dry. Just the very slightest chance for a shower, but I think, again, many of us will continue to stay dry through this afternoon. Pretty comfortable morning out there in the 50s, 53 in Westfield. There's Greenfield at 52, 53 in Springfield, 51 right now in Northampton, and we're in the 50s in the Berkshires as well. 50 in North Adams, 51 over in Pittsfield. Daycast 10 a.m. sunshine. Temperatures warming up 70 degrees. 1 o'clock sunshine and clouds up around 80 degrees. 4 o'clock partly sunny with temperatures getting up in the low to mid 80s. We are tracking those showers as we head into the start of the work week. We'll show you when they arrive in just a few minutes in the 22 News Storm Team forecast.
Well, the weather is truly perfect for the Western Massachusetts Ironman 70.3 that kicked off this morning at 6. 22 News reporter Heath Kapp is live at the starting line. Heath, what's it like down there?
Melissa, you're right. The weather is gorgeous down here. There's been thousands of people following and chasing around their family and friends. And this physical feat is really something that is just astonishing. I saw one woman who was following her husband who had a sign that said, "'Cause a marathon isn't enough." And I think that sums up just how absurd an Ironman really is. Now, the race began with a 1.2-mile swim, a course from the North End Bridge to Memorial Ave. Then comes the cycling portion of the competition, which is a 56-mile loop towards the Berkshires and back to West Springfield. The last portion of the race is a 2-loop, 13.1-mile run course along the Connecticut Riverwalk that finishes in downtown Springfield. Now, miraculously, the swimmers are already done with that portion for the most part, and they're already on to the biking portion. Now, this is supposed to take a couple hours, and then will come the running, and we'll have more coverage on this later on 22 News. Working for you live in Springfield, I'm Heath Kalb, 22 News.
Pride was celebrated all afternoon Saturday in Chicopee. 22 News reporter Heath Kalb has a look at what the atmosphere was like.
It's the best Pride Fest I could ever be at.
On Friday, the city of Chicopee raised the pride flag and held an educational panel with a socially themed discussion at the public library. On Saturday, at Zott Park, Chicopee's Pride Fest celebration took place from 3 to 9, and hundreds of guests came dressed and ready for the occasion. The many who came to the park to celebrate Pride browsed various vendors, food trucks, games, informational tables, and enjoyed the programmed entertainment. The first Chicopee Pride Fest originated 3 years ago by Johnny Miranda under the sponsorship of the Chicopee Cultural Council and served as a beacon of hope. Now, Miranda is ecstatic to see where the Pride Fest is today.
Every year it's getting bigger. Every year it's a better crowd, a larger space, and it just tells me that it's needed, it's accepted, and that it's going to keep on happening. We're going to keep on growing, and I'm glad for that.
And this festival is all about fun, inclusion, and pride, and even includes an inflatable bouncy castle.
It's fun for me because I've been a part of this town my whole life. I've lived here 35 years, and it's nice to know that our city accepts and tolerates, everybody's sexuality, and it's a good time.
That was Heath Kalb reporting. Pride Month continues in Massachusetts. Today, Hopkinton will celebrate their 3rd annual Pride Parade. This event kicks off at 1 p.m. with a short parade starting at the Hopkinton Center for the Arts. Between 2 and 4, the Hopkinton Freedom Team says there will be family-friendly performances, activities, and food trucks. Congressman Jim McGovern is expected to be among the parade participants. And even more Pride celebrations in our area this weekend, with Franklin County celebrating its LGBTQ+ community yesterday. More than 50 groups marched down downtown Greenfield, with family and friends celebrating the neighborhood's vibrancy. And parade goers telling 22 News what they hope the community retains from all of these festivities.
Hopefully people just see us out and about having fun and just enjoying our lives and seeing that we're just normal people and not to hate us.
Joy, acceptance for all people, a sense of community, and inspiration, because we all need it right now.
The parade started at Federal and Sanderson Street and finished at Energy Park with a speech by Congressman Jim McGovern, about a rise in anti-drag and transphobic legislation across the United States. President Joe Biden celebrated Pride Month with a party at the White House yesterday. Some 1,000 people gathered on the South Lawn for the celebration. The administration says it's the largest Pride event held at the White House.
But for all the progress we made, we know real change and real challenges still remain. When a person can be married in the morning and thrown out of a restaurant for being gay in the afternoon, something is still very wrong in America. That's why the Congress must pass and send me the Equality Act to qualify protections for the LGBT community.
The gathering was initially scheduled for Thursday, but it was postponed due to poor air quality caused by the Canadian wildfires.
Well, a little haze out there today due to the smoke, but the good news is the air quality index showing good air quality over Massachusetts, most of Massachusetts right now, so that's some good news. We are tracking clearer skies as we head into the start of the work week, but there will be the return of some showers. We'll show it to you next in the 22 News Storm Team forecast. At 7:37, it's 53 degrees outside.
And now, the 22 News Storm Team forecast with meteorologist Adam Stremko.
Good Sunday morning, everybody. A beautiful morning out there. Live look from our Westfield camera. Lots of sunshine. Still seeing a little bit of haze from that wildfire smoke in Canada. So we'll see that today, but it won't be as bad as it was last week. And it really is not going to affect the air quality, so that is some good news. This is in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Let's take a look at the weather story for today. Sunshine and clouds. For the most part, we stay dry. Just a very slight chance for a shower, and it'll be on the warm side. Temperatures getting up low to mid 80s as we head into this afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Temperatures are in the 50s, and then we are tracking the return of showers as we head through this week, especially tomorrow afternoon, and then Monday night into Tuesday, and as we head towards Wednesday, we have a pretty good chance of seeing some showers. Temperatures out there right now are in the 50s, 53 in Agawam. We have 53 in South Hadley. Cummington at 52, 52 in Greenfield. And in the Berkshires, we have temperatures in the 50s as well. 51 in Stockbridge, 54 over in Lanesboro. Clouds and radar and a good deal of sunshine out there. We had a little bit of patchy fog in spots this morning, but that has lifted. And you can see some clouds off to our west, so we'll see a little bit more in the way of clouds moving in during this afternoon. You can see the wet weather that we're keeping an eye on too. The showers out over the Great Lakes, and this will be moving in our direction and eventually moving on in as we head into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Skycast will take you through it hour by hour. So there we are at 9 a.m. Good deal of sunshine. We'll start to see a few more clouds this afternoon. Saw a little bit of green there, so we can't rule out a shower. But again, most of us will stay dry as we head through this afternoon with those temperatures warming up into the 80s. Tonight, more in the way of clouds. So there we are at 11 o'clock, becoming mostly cloudy. We're dry. And then tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., some sunshine trying to break through the clouds in the morning, and then those clouds will thicken up as we head through the morning hours. Could start to see a few showers developing during the afternoon, and those showers will become a little bit more widespread. Not seeing that on this latest Skycast, but we do expect more in the way of rain Monday night into Tuesday morning, and then a few scattered showers during the day on Tuesday. Here's a look at the smoke forecast. So again, you can see that we are dealing with some light to moderate smoke that's kind of moving on through, making it a little bit hazy out there, and that will continue through this afternoon. And then it will start to clear out as we head into tomorrow. You can see that there we are, 8 a.m. Monday, seeing light smoke, and then eventually it really starts to clear out as we head into Monday afternoon and Monday night. So that's some good news. So county cast looks like this for today. Hampden County, sunshine and clouds on the warm side, 83 Palmer, 85 Springfield, Westfield 84, right around 80, even in Blandford. Hampshire County, sunshine and clouds, lower 80s, 84 in Northampton, 83 in Amherst. Franklin County, sunshine and clouds in the lower 80s, 82 in Orange, 83 in Greenfield. And in the Berkshires, sunshine and clouds in the lower 80s, 80 Pittsfield, 82 in Lee, 83 in Great Barrington. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight lows 58 to 62. 22 News Storm Team 7-day forecast. And there it is, mostly cloudy tomorrow, maybe a little bit of sun in the morning, and then those showers moving in during the afternoon, 77 degrees. Better chance for some showers and some steadier rain Monday night into Tuesday. Then some scattered showers on Tuesday, 80 degrees, and then a better chance for more showers on Wednesday, 77. Then scattered showers Thursday and Friday with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Looks dry right now as we head into the start of next weekend. Partly sunny Saturday, 76 degrees. 7-day forecast, always online at wwlp.com. And of course, you can track any of those showers on the way as we head through this week on your mobile device. Download the free 22 News app.
The Vegas Golden Knights are on the verge of winning their first Stanley Cup title after holding on to the beat with the Florida Panthers 3-2 in Game 4. Vegas leads the series 3-1 and can win the NHL championship on home ice Tuesday. Chandler Stephenson scored twice for the Golden Knights, and William Karlsson ended his series-long goal drought to build a 3-goal lead. How about that? The Panthers scored twice, but they're on the brink of elimination after the comeback bid fell too short. Former UFC champion Conor McGregor knocked out the Miami Heat mascot in a mid-game bit that went wrong. Bernie, more specifically the man who occupies Bernie's costume, briefly sought medical attention Friday night after taking 2 punches from McGregor during a Game 4 between the Heat and the Denver Nuggets. The Heat said Saturday that the employee wearing the flame costume, who was not identified, received pain medication and is now resting at home. For the first time, we're seeing American-made armored military vehicles on Ukrainians' battlefield. It comes as Ukrainian's president confirms they've begun their offensive against Russia. NBC's Raf Sanchez has more.
American-made Bradley fighting vehicles in combat for the first time as part of Ukraine's long-awaited counteroffensive. This one takes a direct hit, but its armored plating shields Ukrainian troops inside from the worst of the impact. The presence of Bradleys on the battlefield alongside German-made Leopard tanks, a sign Kyiv is throwing its most advanced Western weapons into the fight to drive out Russian forces. Standing alongside Canada's Prime Minister, President Zelensky today giving his strongest hint yet that major operations are underway. Defensive counterattacks are taking place in Ukraine. At what stage, I will not say in detail. In the city of Dnipro, we meet Anton, a soldier who's been fighting on the front lines in the east and was badly wounded in a Russian missile attack.
We're starting to see Western tanks, Leopards, Bradleys reaching the battlefield. How much of a difference are they making?
This is more maneuverable equipment. It's better quality, more accurate, which allows us to clear the enemy's tree lines and fortifications much faster.
Meanwhile, in Odessa, 3 civilians killed in a Russian drone attack, according to Ukraine's military. And on Odessa's beaches, debris washing up from the city of Kherson, which flooded this week after a major dam was destroyed. The explosion also cutting water levels near Ukraine's largest nuclear power plant. Authorities now shutting down its final reactor, a precaution against overheating.
That was NBC's Raf Sanchez reporting. A Biden administration official who is not authorized to make public comments claims that China has been operating a spy base in Cuba since at least 2019. The Wall Street Journal reported on Thursday that China and Cuba agreed to build a station on the island. They said that China planned to pay a cash-strapped Cuba billions of dollars as part of the negotiations. Both the White House and Cuba's deputy foreign minister called the report inaccurate. A stunning tale of survival in South America. 4 children who were missing for 40 days after their plane crashed in the Colombian Amazon have been found alive. NBC's Marissa Parra has a story.
Eyes wide with fear, 4 children, all siblings, are pulled aboard a helicopter in the middle of the night. They are safe. Rescued after 40 harrowing days surviving alone in the Colombian jungle. Their journey starts May 1st. A plane carrying 7 people cites engine failure and disappears from radar. The bodies of 3 adults, including their mother, are found in the wreckage. But the smallest passengers, 4 indigenous Huitoto children, the oldest 13, the youngest just 11 months old, nowhere to be found. The search began for what became known as Operación Esperanza, Operation Hope. For weeks, they searched for signs of exactly that. Together, Colombian military and indigenous community leaders took to the skies and the ground, scouring the rainforest, thick with underbrush, full of bugs and predators. Lost in the process, Wilson, a search dog, part of the rescue crew, still missing to this day, but found small signs of life, a diaper, a bottle, and footprints. Galvanized, the teams continued by night and by day. From a helicopter loudspeaker, the military played a recording of their grandmother reassuring the children, "Stay put, they're looking for you." And on June 9th, after 40 days, this rescue. Quiet, scared, and shivering, the siblings clinging to those around them. A moment met with hugs and tears of disbelief from family back home. Their grandmother, in pain over losing her daughter, saying, "I want to hug my 4 grandchildren. I need them here." With their father at their side, they arrive on the tarmac, greeted by those who led the brave operation, calling the children the bravest ones. Small testimonies to the power of survival and hope. Marissa Parra, NBC News.
Ford has planned to bring its iconic Mustang muscle car back to the 24-hour of Le Mans next year under a massive rebranding aimed at bringing the automotive manufacturer into the racing business. The Mustang will enter the GT3 category next year with at least 2 cars in the World Endurance Championship. And it's hopeful to enter an invitation to next year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. The CEO of Ford says the rebranding hopes to make Ford a lifestyle brand with a sporting mindset. Now it's time to look ahead of what to expect this week in the world of business. CNBC's Dominic Chu joins us with a preview.
Central bank meetings, inflation updates, and Pixar's latest film, all in the week ahead. A big week for the world's central banks. Here in the U.S., the Fed makes its interest rate decision on Wednesday afternoon. Some Fed officials have said they might favor a rate hike pause this month. That would help them assess more economic data before deciding how to proceed in the second half of the year. Outside the U.S., the European Central Bank convenes on Thursday, while the Bank of Japan meets on Friday. Key inflation numbers hit before the Fed decision. The Consumer Price Index is out on Tuesday, followed by the Producer Price Index on Wednesday morning, then insights on the consumer later in the week with the government's retail sales figures on Thursday and the latest consumer sentiment reading on Friday. A few earnings to keep an eye on. Tech giant Oracle reports on Monday. Home builder Lennar is out on Wednesday, and on Thursday, a look at grocery demand and pricing from Kroger. Plus, we get results from tech names Adobe and Jabil Circuit. And on Friday, Elemental, the 27th animated film from Disney's Pixar Studios, hits the theaters. The movie will have an uphill battle to become profitable, though. Industry watchers expect it to take in about $40 million during the opening weekend, but the film reportedly cost around $200 million to make. I'm Dominic Chu. Get all your business news on CNBC.
You're watching 22 News at 7:30 a.m.
Here's a look at the daycast. So another beautiful day out there today. Just the slightest chance for a shower, but I think most of us stay dry, and it's going to be warmer as well. 10 a.m. mostly sunny, 70 degrees. 1 o'clock partly sunny, 80 degrees, and seeing temperatures low to perhaps even mid-80s in some spots this afternoon with a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Monday mostly cloudy, maybe a little bit of sun in the morning, and showers developing as we head into the afternoon. 77 degrees. Looks like widespread rain overnight Monday into early Tuesday, and then partly sunny Tuesday with a few scattered showers, 80 degrees. Some showers on Wednesday, 77 degrees, and mainly those afternoon showers again on Thursday and Friday. Temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. Right now looks dry. Saturday, partly sunny in the mid 70s. So definitely warmer as we head into next week. You're also going to start to feel that humidity, Melissa, next week as well. But beautiful day out there today for all the events taking place, the Ironman and all the other festivals and
exactly, even Bruno Mars, you know, in the words of with all of this nice weather, that's what I like. That's what I like. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning on 22 News at 7. Be sure to join us right back here at 6 later this evening for your latest in news and weather.
And remember, we're always online at wwlp.com.
Have a great day.
More people in Western Massachusetts get their news from 22 News than any other source.